Hello. So I would like to talk about project management. And if you think about a project that has a number of tasks, and as those tasks happen over like a long time, and also that there are many little items that you have to take care of, it's just natural to want to write those things down and have a to-do list. The simplest way is actually just to have an outline. So if you have like an outline here, starting with the Roman numeral one, you would have like a certain task here, and then another, oops, sorry, and then another task. Hit the window here. Okay. Another task, etc., like that. But some tasks, such as the first one that we would have, would be like the define phase. And then within that phase, you would have a certain particular item to do within that category. Let's say it is uh, a discovery phase, for example. And then maybe there's a project brief, right? And let's say in the project brief, you have to do something else, like figure out what the invoice is or like what the budget might be, right? And so as you go along, um, you would have these certain kind of levels of tiers happening. Okay, and so if I were to look at this one over here, for example, and we wanted to keep track of it and say, hey, I am working on this particular task, and you're trying to communicate and find it, you would give it a call number, similar to like how you would put a call number for certain books in a library, right? So we would say, hey, this is Roman number one dot a dot one dot lowercase a, and that would be the, sorry, this would be B, right? So this would be the call number or essentially the task ID number for this. And we would put this on the document for this particular task, um, so that we can keep track of it. And it's easy to find because you may actually have somewhere like 50 tasks. Maybe some projects will have hundreds of tasks and their documents, files, JPEGs, all kinds of things. So it's just sometimes easier to have a task one. Over time, I actually prefer the way this looks. However, it was impractical. So because of how computers handle files. So ideally, these tasks correspond to where they are on a computer or on a cloud storage. So if I were to go here, and this is the folder structure. So here's like the project, here is the define phase, research, ideate, prototype, and finalize. These are the 5 stages for the project. Then within here, I would have uh, an A folder and call it discovery. And then within this folder, I would have another folder and call that uh, one invoice budget. And then we'd have another folder, which is lowercase a, and we'll say that this is task whatsoever. And so whenever anybody, oh, wait, sorry, this should be mistake. This should be project brief. Write all that in here. Okay, so if someone or even myself was looking for Roman number one, B1A, I know it is in 1B1A, and it would be easier for me to keep track of things like this. Um, Over time, I found out that the Roman numeral system works okay to point, but if I have another one such as 9, which is an I and an X, and yada, 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 it comes out of order because it's structured alphabetically. So this doesn't work. Um, so I changed this over time to be just normal ones and this to be a normal two, etc., to make sure that it all lines up. Because some of my projects have like 20 or 30 main folders in the top tier for some reason. And due to the workflow over like, I don't know, 2 years, So let's take a look at uh, a project timeline sheet. Now, typically this is known as a work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure, sometimes known as a WBS, is essentially what I just made in the folders, except in a single list form, right? Um, Work breakdown structure for this class, we'll just call it project timeline because some students are confused. So let's first focus on the name of the task. So the task, for example, is we need a define phase. We have a task to do a discovery, which involves like research and gather subject information. And then we have a project brief that we need to create. That's like to clarify the problem to be solved, like our invoice, et cetera, like that. And we have that structure around. You'll notice that each tier is, we're not doing indents. So instead, I'm using typography as a hierarchy. So all caps here in the regular title casing. But here I'm doing like light blues, et cetera. And every person who project manages their own has their own way of doing it. But this is how I do it for this class. And as we go on, it's just easy to describe what needs to get done. Then the next column is when it's due. Sometimes you put down when it's assigned and then when it's due, and then who's in charge of it. So you can either put like the title of the people who are doing it, or you can put like teams of people. And then this is just like comments, like things that we need to know. So you can see how keeping track of something like this as a project manager's role, it's very handy because you may have like multiple people on a team. And if you don't have multiple people and you're just doing it by solo, it is handy just to have that. And then off to the left, I have an ID number. So this is the call number, the task ID for that particular item to do. And I do not have to, let's say I'm looking for something very specific and I'm looking for, let's even go down even further where it's like multiple things. So it's for a website, we're working on tablet and mobile. I need to have some content pages. I'm going to put it in a folder on my computer. Well, typing content page, you'll notice there's a bunch of content page named documents already. And I'm going to have to sort through all that. But there's only one folder that will be 3 with a subfolder C, 5, and 2 structure going down. Um, so this is where the task ID number is off to the left in this case, so you can jump to it rather easily. I hope that explains it. The other column here is actually just for school because some students wanted to know how many documents, like how many actual pages they had to actually make. Because sometimes you don't need a page for define, you just need the next thing, the actual content part. So that's what it is. You can actually ignore this, but I wanted to explain what that was. So going back to why this structure also has ones like numeral digits instead of lowercase. And I will show you back here. So I find the uppercase letters work, but you start to run out, right? So you have 26 letters in the English alphabet. So I have 26 main folders for any given phase. And I actually think I never have reached past 26. So it works for me. If I wanted to, I could probably do A and A B, AC, A3, A4, sorry, AD, etc. Um, but I find that it's easier just do that way. And then with the rest of these subcategories, I do find that it actually goes into double digits. So here either do 1 or actually do like 0, 1 to be honest. And then even here, I just start just doing numbers all the time now. So it's just like here's task 0, 1, here's task 0, 2, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is just keep things in order and in structure. The other, I wonder if I can show you an example. And this is not even, this is just how I keep track of everything. Um, I do it in the kind of numerical structure here. And so I'm going to go to undergraduate classes. And if I'm lucky, let's actually go to one of these. So you can see where this is actually a student team project. These are all the student teams, and that each one actually has those five main structures. And then you can go in and see how everything's organized like that. So you go like research, understand audience. Here's like your target audience, and you can see where there's versioning of things. You'll notice that the numbers here are slightly different, and it's because some students will find it difficult to just go from like one to A and then one and just like numbers. So instead, they actually type in the full task ID at the beginning the uh, of the folders to make it easier to find the items that they're looking for. And that's perfectly fine too. You are not required in this class to actually maintain a folder structure. I just want you to know where it is in the conceptual hierarchy of the project. And if you want to practice this, it is to your advantage. It's a lot easier to keep track of things and where to find them as you kind of move along and do things accordingly. So I hope that makes sense. And uh, when you do the template, um, where do you put the task ID on that template? A lot of the time they will put the task ID in front of the phase. So they'll put like to hyphen research, or if it's the page name, um, like the document title, they'll do like to a hyphen competitive analysis. Other times they will just have it down in the footer and say like task ID is 2A, et cetera, like that. So again, in summary, work breakdown structure is just a way to keep track of your project. And then task ID is just a call number for you to be able to organize your files correctly in a folder structure and to find them quickly and to communicate all of this organization, not only to yourself, but to somebody else. Hope that answers various questions. All right, see you later.